Yo, so in this video, I just want to talk about how being fast to your leads can make you close the deal faster, or it can increase your chances of closing the deal faster. Um, like if someone hits you up wanting to sell their phone, the speed at which you respond is gonna greatly increase your chances of actually closing that deal, and I think that's extremely important. Also, like what people don't put into consideration is like the location, depending on like where you're at. So, for example, um, someone hits you up, they have a phone. You ask like what condition it's in. They tell you the condition. You give them an offer. They reject the offer. You give them another offer that's slightly better, and they agree. Okay. Once they agree to the price, like your whole mindset has to think like, I need to meet this person right now as soon as they agree to the price, because you don't want to just lose that lead. You already did the hard part. The easy part is meeting up with them and closing the deal. So you want to basically meet up with them as fast as possible, and you want to have like multiple locations within your city that you can meet. Like in my city, like it's it's like big land wise, so like everywhere is about 30 minutes away. So it's kind of hard to set up a location to where you can meet all of your leads at one time. I have done it before where like you can just meet like 5, 6 leads at one location. That's optimal for sure. But some days it's not going to be like that. And when days that it's not like that and you can't bring everybody to the same location, you have to adjust. So let's say you have a lead, y'all already agreed on price. There's like a multitude of things that there's like a multitude. Hold up, let me turn off these notices. Okay. There's a there's a multitude of things that have to align in order for a deal to close. Okay, so one of them is price. Okay, price has to align. Location, time. That's literally it. Like if all three align, then like the deal is done. There's nothing there's nothing else that's stopping you from closing the deal. You know what I'm saying? So price, location, time. As long as these three things align, you can be able to close that deal. And if all three of these things align, then you make money. My goal is to like whenever I'm doing a deal is to agree on all three of these things. So let's say for example, y'all already agreed on price. The only thing stopping now is location and time. So let's say you ask them to meet at your location. Hey, can you meet at this Starbucks? Can you meet at this Panera? And they're like, that's a little bit too far. Okay, so now there's a disagreement on location. Okay, there's a disagreement. What you need to do is figure out where they're located. Okay, this is how I used to do it. So if there is like a lead on Marketplace, then I will basically go on Marketplace, and on Marketplace, if you scroll to the bottom of the listing, it shows you the exact location of where that person is at. I click on that maps feature, and I essentially just I try to find the closest Starbucks to them so that that location makes sense for everyone. You know, okay, I find the closest Starbucks to them, close find a location, and I basically send them the address like, hey, can you meet at this McDonald's? Boom, send them the address, and they either say yes or no. Now, if they're off Marketplace, then you already have their location to where they're posting at. So you use that marketplace listing location in order to find a meetup spot in the nearest area. Now, if it's in like the trenches or like a bad neighborhood, then like obviously like don't meet them in the trenches, bro. Like you gotta have some common sense. But if they're in the trenches, then you just tell them that you have to meet me, bro. Like there's no other option. If they're in like a good area, then okay, you know, um, you can find the nearest Starbucks or the nearest whatever Panera you like to go to in order to make the deal happen, or a gym. I know people meet at gyms, and so after they agree on location, then um, you have the time. Now, if it's like a Facebook ad lead or like someone just hitting you up randomly, then and they don't want to come to the location that you first provide, then then in this case you basically want to ask them like where are you located, like what side of town are you on, and once you get like really good, like you'll have locations to where you meet people on every side of town. Okay, if I have someone that's near this side of town, I'm going to meet them here. If I have someone that's near this side of town, I'm going to meet them here. So yeah, just always have like locations down packed to meet people in their nearest location, basically. Um, so yeah, basically all of these things have to align in the time. So a lot of people have work, so you have to work around their schedule. So once y'all have the location, basically, you have to figure out a good time. Now, it just depends on like how time is kind of difficult because it's kind of like it just depends on how bad you want to close the deal. Like if you're not doing anything, then I would ask them what's a good time for you to meet. So like you don't want to give them a specific time. You pull up to the location and they're not there. They're wasting your time. So just ask them what's a good time for you. Meet them there, and yeah, that's how I kind of like would close deals like this. Again, like you always want to like get people to come to your location so you can have multiple people um coming to you at the same time. You don't have to deal with this driving and everything. But sometimes like all deals do not happen like that. Like all deals are not gonna just come to you. Um People have like different situations and everything. And when the situation is like in a when the person is in a situation where they're not coming to you, you have to adjust if you want to close that deal. Like you're gonna turn down $150 deal because they're not coming to you. It's kind of crazy. Um, in my opinion, a lot of people don't look at it that way. But like, I'm gonna try to figure out how I can close this deal as fast as possible. Because again, like speed is extremely important. You want to like close all deals as fast as possible or whenever you can. And that's just kind of like a tactic I use for like location and everything like that. So yeah.